Mixed martial arts is a full-body contact sport between two competitors attempting to prove dominance over one another. The fighters utilize three basic approaches to best their opponent: striking, finishing holds, and control. The sport allows for combat to occur on the ground as well as standing. This provides each fighter a unique ability to win each fight how they please. I chose to do my case study involving an issue in mixed martial arts due to my personal interest in the sport, as well as the sharp rise in popularity of mixed martial arts in the past decade. The main issue I will be analyzing through this case study is the prevalence of violence and injury within the sport. Many people see the sport as a safety hazard to those involved and believe the repetitive damage the fighters take should be enough to restructure the sport as a whole. Others believe it is just a display of competitiveness and carries risk just like any other contact sport. The main issues surrounding the injury in mixed martial arts is the injury rate alone, the overtraining rate, and the long-term well-being of the competitors involved. Over the past 2 decades, the popularity of mixed martial arts has skyrocketed. This popularity increase is due mainly to the creation of the UFC, the decline of popularity in boxing, and the strong business model it creates. The entire industry is extremely marketable, but most of its profit is made through its televised content, which made over half of all of the UFC's revenue for 2017. There are many reasons that mixed martial arts has increased in popularity, but it is clear the sport has high demand and creates real impact in the professional sports industry. My proposal to resolve the conflicts surrounding these issues with mixed martial arts is to promote proper training methods, create an injury recovery policy for all competitors, and reduce the overall time in the ring. According to a study done by the National Institute of Health, the risk that injury is higher in mixed martial arts than in any other combat sport. This study claims that because mixed martial arts is such an intensive sport during training and competition, that it prevents a much higher injury rate than any other combat sport. By promoting training methods that reduce the amount of continual strain mixed martial arts athletes undergo, the overall injury rate will be greatly reduced. Another major issue surrounding injury in mixed martial arts is the lack of proactive injury education that athletes utilize. Placing emphasis on proper recovery time and technique, athletes will be able to prevent further injury and lower the overall rate that mixed martial arts athletes undergo. The biggest problem to accomplishing this arises from the competitive nature of the sport. There is constant demand for the mixed martial arts athletes to improve, so they do not fall behind their competitors. This reduces the incentive for fighters to take the time off necessary to fully recover. The implementation of policies that bar fighters from participating if they are not fully recovered will allow the competitors to recover and rest fully, thereby reducing the probability of future injury and reducing the injury rate for mixed martial arts as a whole. The final element of my proposal would be to decrease the overall amount of time inside the ring. My proposal is to decrease the amount of time each round to 3 minutes. This may seem like a large change, but I believe its impact would be considerable. Decreasing the amount of time inside the ring by 40% will drastically decrease the amount of punches received and given to both parties. The decreased time will also reduce the exhaustion the fighters face, providing them a better opportunity to defend themselves properly. My proposal will have many positive effects for mixed martial arts as a whole, but it will bring about other consequences that affect the industry. The first major conflict that would present itself is the backlash from the competitors. The athletes that train for mixed martial arts are very disciplined and passionate about their sport. They may not be welcome to policies that affect their training or recovery choices. Another consequence that would arise from the implementation of the proposal is the disapproval from the fan base. Cutting down on the time that a spectator has to watch the sport they are a fan of is hard idea to promote. The popularity and relevance of the UFC will be the biggest aid in overcoming the negative response from the fans. It is important to note other changes that have been made in the past to improve the safety and well-being of mixed martial arts fighters. Many rule changes have been implemented by the Boxing Association commissions in the past to reduce the amount of possible injuries. Banning attacks such as face grabs, head-butting, hair-pulling, groin attacks, and many more has greatly reduced the amount of fighters that get hurt. Mixed martial arts have been around for a few decades, but mixed martial arts has been around for a few centuries, but found its rise to popularity in the past few decades. The main issue regarding mixed martial arts is the high rate of injury that fighters face. Some proponents of the sport say it is a display of competition and carries the same risk as other contact sports, while others claim the nature of the sport is brutish and injury is unacceptable. My proposal involves the implementation of policy to promote proper recovery, education on safe and proper training techniques, and a reduction in the overall time the fighters spend in the ring. I am confident that the proposal will cause a significant reduction in mixed martial arts injuries, while also keeping fighters and fans content with the sport they so very much adore.